Everyone relax. This is TOFOP. I'm Charlie Clausen.
I'm Will Anderson. Hello, and thank you for watching.
Do you remember a few years ago? You don't remember.
I don't
I haven't
remember.
asked you yet. How could you not remember? You don't know what I'm asking yet.
I don't remember a few years ago.
You do remember a few years ago.
I don't remember anything that happened.
Anything at all?
I've got Memento disease.
But that's short-term memory, not long-term.
Yeah,
I'm talking a few years ago.
the opposite of Memento disease.
You've got long-term memory
My short-term
loss.
memory is brilliant.
Okay.
You know what you just said? Everyone relax. This is TOFOP.
Yeah.
I'm Charlie Clausen.
But you don't remember. What is the... So what... So you have how far does your short-term memory extend to? Just to today?
Today, yeah.
Okay. But you can't remember it last week?
I can't remember what happened yesterday.
There was a time in, say, 2018 when I think it was...
What year is this, just to give that context?
This is 2024.
Okay. All right.
Do you know where you are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was a time in 2018, I think it was, where I believe it was Cadbury and Arnott's paired up to do a line of chocolates where they...
A Cadbury, a chocolate manufacturer?
Cadbury... Fucking Jesus. Yes, a chocolate company.
How much will it annoy you that if I commit to this bit?
It's going to be hard for me to set up what I want to get to.
Okay, I'll let you. I'll just pretend that for the sake of context. Yep. Okay, go on.
Okay, so there was a chocolate company paired up with a very famous biscuit brand called Arnott's in Australia. Do you know what Australia is?
Yeah, of course. Like I've been all day today, I remember.
Okay.
I know where I am. I know why I'm here. I know who I am.
And you know what country you live in.
I know what country I
live in. Do you know what Arnott's is?
From context.
Okay.
From what you just said, contextually, I understand. But I hadn't encountered any Arnott's today. So this is the first time I'm learning about Arnott's today.
Okay, so Arnott's are a very famous Australian, I mean, they're probably owned by an American company by now or something, but they were a famous Australian brand with some iconic biscuits like the Ice Vovo and Jats crackers and all that kind of stuff.
Sounds great.
And the chocolate company and the biscuit company, Arnott's, teamed up years ago.
Sounds like a great
and
idea.
did these little chocolate bars.
A collaboration.
Yeah, where they would put like Ice Vovos in one and Jats crackers in another one.
Brilliant.
And you and I got quite obsessed with it.
Oh, brilliant.
We got lots of episodes
of
this show. Do you know what this show's called?
TOFOP.
That's right. It's part of the Everyone Relax Network. Yeah. We have several podcasts.
It makes sense.
Okay.
And it's all I've ever known. So it makes complete sense to me that they'd all be in the one network and under the one banner.
So it seemed for a period of time like you and I would go off separately and eat these chocolates and then come in and report back.
Okay.
And I think even
That's fun.
episode we brought chocolates in.
And we would do that for the show.
Yeah, that was our show.
That was our content.
People listened to it.
Really?
When we've been around for a long time. I don't think, look, not a lot, but loyal.
Yeah.
They seem to come back.
Enough that we can't quit.
We found...
was what was explained to me today.
Not big enough to be successful, not small enough to quit.
But not small enough to quit.
Oh my God.
Too many people to disappoint if we just stopped, was how it was explained to me.
I mean, that is the most accurate description of this show. But I went through Coles the other day and discovered that those maniacs at Arnott's.
They're at it again. Yeah, okay. I'm out of this.
You know where this is going.
I'm out of this bit now because
you know what's going.
Yes, like things are, they're back, aren't they?
Not that.
No, there's new things. They're down at the lab with their pen and their pad, and they're, I haven't even seen these ones because there's some new stuff happening. But you've just brought out a packet of Arnott's Tim Tam biscuits, 9 biscuits, inspired by. Now, this is interesting. Sweet and salty.
Yeah. Which, as we've established on this show, is our favorite combination.
We love sweet and salty.
Yeah.
And it's inspired by Jats crackers in a Tim Tam. Now, when it says inspired by, that's the bit that I don't like.
Yeah.
Because, I want them, when we open these, as we're about to, I hope, because if we're not about to open these and try these, then something has gone severely wrong.
Teach you a lesson for pretending you have memory loss.
Exactly. Didn't like that bit.
No,
so I'm going to bring
funny.
out something you would love to try, and then I'm just going to
throw it. I'm going to feed it to it. I'm going to get Adam Hills in here, and he's going to eat the whole pack.
Yeah.
Get Carl Barron in. He's going to eat this whole packet. You can have one.
I'm going to get 9 more successful comedians to you, and they're going to eat one of them each in front of your face for that dumb bit you tried to do at the start. I don't want them to just be inspired by Jats. Is what
Okay.
I'm saying. When we open these up and we
Yeah.
try one, I want to be tasting actual Jats.
Well, I have to.
have you tried these already?
I have to make. All right. Well, this is the setup,
Okay.
right?
All right.
So I was walking through Coles. I flew down last night to do this show, and I take advantage of the night before when I don't have a kid or to worry about, where I can go see a movie. And so
Yes.
I'm going to go see that June movie I've been hearing all about.
Dune
2.
Dune 2.
June Part 2. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll just get some snacks for the cinema. And my plan was just to get like a little, like, I think I was even going to get a healthy snack. I was going to get like one of those like Health Lab
You're
protein
already
balls or
watching
something.
a boring movie. Why would
But
you?
I walked past this in Coles and was like, oh my God, those maniacs, they've done it.
Oh my God, Becky.
And so I bought a pack for me, just one pack. And my plan was, well, I'll just go to the cinema and I'll get some popcorn. I'll have a little nibble
Yes.
on one of these.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't wait. And so even before
Couldn't wait to the cinema.
couldn't wait to the cinema. So even before I got to the cinema,
I mean, how far was it between the supermarket and the cinema?
like half an hour.
Oh yeah, no, there's no. I mean, the whole packet would be gone by the time I go to the cinema.
So I held back. I had two, but then like I got my popcorn, had a little bit of medicine, got my popcorn, and I sat down, and then the trailers are going, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm thinking, I can't stop thinking about these fucking Tim Tams. Like I have to get,
I
have to get another
honestly
one.
can't. I can barely listen to this story because all I'm thinking about is when I get to eat one of these Tim Tams.
But the problem was, like, I'm a very conscientious cinema goer, and it was a very full session. So, because I was there on my own, like there was no real buffer. I was I was boxed in because I wanted to sit in the middle, and so I had people on my left and right. And I'd brought the backpack in, which is already like, you're the lumbering doofus who's taken up more room than you should be allocated. Like I managed to shove it under my seat so everyone could
Quite a
get
big
past.
backpack though.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm traveling, so I need to take my stuff with me, water and all that kind
All
of
right,
stuff.
hobo. They're like, this is a cinema.
Anyway, I'm
Check
sitting
your
there with my
baggage, hobo.
popcorn, and also like I've tried to be like healthy when I go to the
Look
cinema.
at this hobo with his packet of biscuits in his backpack.
Totally, it was-
Probably lives here.
All right, so I got my popcorn, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I gotta get another fucking Tim Tam, but I don't want to. Not like that's too much. That's too noisy. Like you can't take that into a cinema. So I'm like, okay, but the trailers are going. So what I'll do now is I'll dole out like, how many do you think you're going to eat, Charlie? And in my head, you'll have three with your popcorn.
That's
maybe mix them in with the popcorn.
That is a great amount
Number
to
of Tim
think
Tam.
that you're going to eat. I think that's the right amount. That's the right amount because when you say three, what you're thinking is, I've allowed one extra there. Like in your brain,
right. Two
you're like,
is
two,
sensible.
two is the right amount.
You've been a good
three,
boy.
it's my night off. I can have three.
Yeah. I've already had two.
I know. But this is the new agreement that you're making. You're like, this is a long movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. One per hour.
Yeah.
Was my thought.
That's right.
Right.
That seems like a very reasonable lie to tell yourself.
So I got myself a red wine as well because that's a classy drink to have with chocolate.
You got your backpack,
glass of
biscuits, your red
popcorn
wine.
with biscuits, and my back. And so I had two girls on my left, and I had mum and I'm assuming daughter on the right, teenage daughter on the right. And
how old are the young women on the other side?
Like Amy's age, like early 20s. Are you early 20s?
Early 40s. Amy's
20,
Amy's
yeah.
42.
Amy-ish. Amy-ish, maybe a bit younger. 87 years old.
87 years old.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
chemtrails.
Yeah.
keep the old people young. And the girls on the left, they had quite a few snacks. They had like their pods and their mixed lollies and all that kind of stuff, and their popcorn. So, but the lady on the right, she was a very double bay.
Because that's interesting. Because at the cinema they are selling, like kind of biscuity snacks now, like particularly those chocolatey,
pods.
Pods, yeah. They are basically biscuits.
Yep.
Like it is kind of a packet of biscuits. So the fact that you're gonna that you would crack out a pack packet of actual biscuits
Okay.
is that not that far away.
Well,
from
but I didn't want to do that
no.
because of this,
Yes, of course.
but
I
also
understand.
because I didn't want to look like a hobo who'd
But those pods
brought
packets
in
are also a
food
bit
from the
crinkly.
supermarket.
Like, like getting
not as crinkly
not
as that.
as crinkly.
Not as
though.
crinkly. But I was more concerned about on my right, mum and teenage daughter, because she seemed
Yeah.
very double bay,
Very particular.
very particular, no snacks, here to see a film.
Just here to see.
Denis
Denis
Villeneuve.
I only
Yeah.
watched the films of Villeneuve.
Yeah, Villeneuve.
This is the only popular cinema I will attend because it's made by a French person.
That's right. He's not French. He's Canadian. French Canadian.
French Canadian.
But-
Close enough.
Yeah, sacre bleu. I cannot believe this Denis is a Frenchman like
I
me.
don't know why I'm
I
talking
spit
like
in your
this.
face.
I am from Double Bay earlier in this.
I was very conscious of not looking like a hobo
Yeah.
in front of.
Apart from all the ways you were absolutely already.
Oh,
looking
and I
like a
had
hobo.
not only that, but
Yeah.
I had my
A little
had
sack
my
on a
Muji-
stick.
had my Muji hoodie
Oh,
on.
yeah, of course.
My big cans around my neck.
Mm.
Baseball cap. Just looking too old to pull off
Well,
this
yeah, also,
skater boy
what
look.
are you doing? There are so many mixed messages coming from you in what you're describing.
Because I've been out all day,
Yeah.
all afternoon, and because I was like, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna stay out, so I'm gonna take some stuff
Yeah.
with me. And it was cold last
I'm
night, so I
gonna
had a
take
jacket in my
8
back.
different fashions, combine them all together.
So I'm just looking like a mess. So
Yes.
while the trailers are going, I'm like, well, this is a perfect time to kind of I can
Yes.
make a bit of noise.
That's your time,
And so
for sure.
I was reached into the
Mm.
backpack and I was fumbling around and I got my 3 Tim Tams out.
God. So you didn't bring the whole packet
No,
out.
no, because I wanted to do it secretly because I didn't want them to know that I'd
No,
snuck in a
you
pack of biscuits.
bring-
No, because then you look like a weirdo who's brought a.
You already
Packet-
look like a weirdo.
No, I
that
don't.
train had already left
No,
the
no.
station.
So far, all the weirdo was the only weird thing about me was my backpack. Because
That's
otherwise,
enough, though. Dude with the backpack in a cinema. That's enough. I'm already spotting you as a weirdo.
Amy, can you moderate this? Is a
Amy
dude
isn't
with
the
a
arbiter of all things backpack.
No, let's just take a poll though. Straw
All right,
poll.
okay.
Someone brings a backpack into the cinema. Weirdo.
Weirdo. Like Charlie's size backpack.
I don't think it's
Charlie's
a weirdo.
size
Will.
Have you seen how big that backpack is?
That's
Halfway
not-
in between a
it's not
normal
a
backpack and a
hiking-
hiking backpack.
That is not a. I could. It's not too big.
Yeah.
Gareth Reynolds came to do TOFOP live in Sydney with the exact same backpack.
Yeah, to a show, not
Yeah.
to like the cinema. Didn't
That's-
pop
but
it under
he'd
the
been-
seat at the
It
cinema.
is a backpack for going around during the day, and I've got work. Then I can put some work stuff in here. I've got to go.
Yeah,
see a
and
film, I can
also I don't have a house, so I can sleep on a park bench, and everything I own is in here.
It's not that big.
It is
it is
close
a
to that, though.
completely. No,
It's
it is
a-
not.
it
You are
is.
exaggerating, and I want you to take that back. It's not.
I won't take it back.
That is not a big backpack. That is a normal sized.
It's
Should
not
I
a
get
normal. You go and get your backpack, and we'll decide whether it's normal size backpack or not. As far as I'm concerned, it's not a bit. It's like it is. It's too big. Yeah, that's too big. That is like you're going on a hike. A size backpack. Amy, reconsider. Yes, I knew it.
That is not a. That's not a big backpack.
It's going backpacking around Europe.
That's not a big.
Look at what
I'm going to wear it for the rest of the show
Dude,
to show you.
It
just
looks like you're
how-
going backpacking.
No, it doesn't.
It
That is a normal.
does.
That is a normal
No,
get
it's
around a day
not.
out. Okay.
You look like an international student. Like,
Well, I did have my headphones around my, so I looked like the oldest.
you would have looked like,
International
looked
student.
like a backpacker. They would have thought, oh, here's this dirty backpacker.
He saved
probably-
up all week for his
probably
one,
French
one glass
Canadian,
of wine.
And he's come in here and he's going to eat his packet of biscuits loudly.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
yeah.
I'll reenact it
Okay.
for you.
All
Okay.
right.
Because I have everything here. Right. So. My
All right.
water bottle. I had that
Okay.
as well.
Yeah,
Okay. So
your hiking size
I-
water
I
bottle. Again,
did-
your green hiking water
Because
bottle.
I did have to, and also like in those
Yeah.
cinemas, right? Because you've got, and I never know. You've
So
got
you
the
got
little
out your
side
green
table.
water bottle,
But is it?
and then you got out your tent and your tent poles and your
you're making
inflatable
this
mattress.
sound worse than it is. But those cinemas, right, where you got the little
Ah.
tray table, on the left and the right. I never know, is the right side mine or is the left side mine or is both? And is it first in best dress? Like, do I put where do you put your stuff?
Hang on, you've got a tray table?
So, when you go into a cinema, most cinemas now, you'll sit down and at the end of the armrest is a little table area that you put your drink or your...
Oh, yeah, okay. No, you're right. Okay.
And they're on the left and right. And I never know which one I'm meant to, like... I don't want to infringe on my neighbor by putting... So I put all mine on my right.
Because there's always... there's
always left and right. So you can have both, but
hang on, like on each side of the aisles, is there one?
I think so.
Yeah.
On the left, yeah.
Okay, so someone technically could have both.
Well, that's what I wanted.
You wanted both.
Because the girl on my right, the teenager, she didn't have any... She had a box of popcorn, but she had it...
Was there any gaps? No gaps.
No gaps. I just put it down that side.
Okay.
But
so you're in a no gap cinema.
I desperately needed all stuff.
With all your worldly possessions.
Okay, so I had box of
you
small
literally
popcorn.
look like you're going off to war. Like you've backed
I had
up
my swag
your
hat.
military swag and you've headed off to war. But first you're going to watch a movie, a French movie.
Okay, so I had popcorn. I had a glass of wine I put on the table. Popcorn I kept in my lap. Pulled out my water bottle.
Oh yeah.
Put that at my feet.
Mm-hmm.
Tucked the bag, which I'm going to do now, under my chair. Oh, God.
Okay.
All right? Okay.
Yeah.
So trailers are going.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this.
Oh God. This is horrible. Like
trailers are going. The trailer. All right.
Oh no.
And I noticed the girl.
Oh, you're so annoying.
The girl on my left
I'm
is like
annoyed
looking
by
at me.
you.
But like I'm doing it, and so I get my three Tim Tams
Just
out
get the
in my
packet
little,
out, man.
in my little.
Stop
in my
fussing around. The mystery of your mystery bag that's full of whatever is actually more disturbing than being able to see what you're fiddling with. I'm like, it's the disturbing image of like, oh, he's brought in everything, and now he's going to rustle around in this fucking sack all movie and annoy this. I'm going to be trying to like enjoy some giant like desert worm thing, and then an old Russell Crowe next to me is just going to rustle around in his sack all movie. Bring out the biscuits.
Well, I did,
yeah,
but I think this is where things started to go off the rails a little bit. So I'm doing this,
yeah,
and I get my little fist around 3 Tim Tams,
yeah,
and I slowly draw them out, and so now the girl knows.
Of course, you've drawn her attention, and then you've just brought out raw biscuits, like three like they've just
in
been
my fist,
like they've just been in your bag. All that you've just got a backpack full of unwrapped biscuits.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been weirder if maybe it was like a sealed...
A fist of chocolate biscuits.
And so then I'm sitting there and I'm trying to do this without like I'm peripherally, I can tell that she's clocked me, but I'm keeping my eyes on
but
the
you've made it
screen.
worse by making it so sus.
I realised this.
Yeah, okay.
And so then I'm there and I'm like, but what am I doing? Like, I'm not going to hold on to these 3 biscuits for the whole film. Like, I wanted to eke these out over the movie.
Yeah.
I can't sit there because they're going to melt.
Right.
So then I'm like, I've got to put them back.
Oh, Charlie.
But
this is such a bad plan.
So I didn't put them back. What I thought would be smarter is so my bag's under my seat like this. So I get my phone out. I turn my phone over to that side, to the non-screen side, and I put my phone on top of my backpack. And then I place the 3 Tim Tams
Firstly,
on top of
a
my
thing that is
phone.
notoriously not hot, your phone.
No, it's not going to be on during the movie.
Yeah, I understand. But like, I mean, it has some...
Not enough to melt a Tim Tam. I don't think. Well, it's a screen. I've got a plastic case, like a screen protector. It's on the case. So I laid my...
Yeah. Did you... So just for the record, you know that your phone case got more dirt and stuff than your toilet seat. You might as well have gone out to the public toilet and just said, you know where a more hygienic place to keep these will be? These things that I'm going to put in my mouth. I'll just lay these 3 Tim Tams on this toilet seat and they can sit there until I need them. And that would have been more hygienic than what you did.
I was aware of that. But
also, why do you have to put it down? Why can't you leave your phone on your knee or whatever and have the Tim Tams closer to you at this point.
I was
Why can't you put them in the popcorn?
Because-
Wasn't the plan to just put them in
because
the
I
popcorn?
wanted to eke them out over the movie.
But you can eke them out while they're in the pop.
No,
bang
because
'em
then
in
I've
the
got to crush
popcorn.
up the biscuits, and that was more embarrassing. I didn't want to. That's a real weirdo. Then I was wearing my Muji, and I didn't want to get chocolate.
Let down Muji.
I didn't want to get
as a
chocolate on my
brand.
Muji.
Didn't want
So I
to
was
ruin
like,
your chance to be a Muji
like I don't want
branded.
chocolate stained hands. So I'll put them away for now. Risk like
You don't wanna get
salmonella or some kind of bacteria.
rather than get chocolate fingerprints on your
chocolate
Muji.
fingerprints on my Muji, which by the way is like water resistant and stain resistant.
Yeah,
which I
you
think is
get
fine.
those stains out immediately.
Not a
It's an
problem.
incredible brand.
So the movie starts.
Yep.
And I reach down and I get my first.
Charlie's at the movie in his Muji.
I'm at the movie in my Muji and I start nibbling away on my Tim Tam, and it's going great.
Yeah.
Great combo, tastes great. Maybe didn't need the popcorn and the jats, because now you got, like, if it just was a plain chocolate Tim Tam with the
Sure.
you're getting your salt and sweet.
Yep.
Maybe too much because I started getting real thirsty, real thirsty. So now I'm like having to go down my bottle of water because I'm like, oh, I'm dying of thirst here. But what I thought was going to be easy, like I blew through those 3 Tim Tams in the first like 20 minutes. And now I want more, Will.
Of course.
I want more Tim Tams. And I really was finding it hard to concentrate on the film because of how much I wanted the Tim Tams. And I was like, well, this is fine. There's a lot of action in this movie. The next action sequence, I'll go in to get my Tim Tam. Because that will cover the noise of like the clicking of the packet and stuff. So there is this action sequence, and this is not a spoiler, but there's this action sequence in which like Zendaya and Timothée Chalamet trying to shoot this thing out of the sky. And it is a very noisy sequence, but the way they edit the sequence is at the climax of the scene is they drop the sound. And I was fumbling around. And so, crunch, 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 crunch. Just me fumbling around in my packet.
Right.
So this time I was like, I just grabbed as many Tim Tams as I could. Because like, I can't go back in. So I grabbed another 3 in Tim Tams.
Yeah, there's only 2 left now.
Only 2 left.
Yeah.
Got those Tim
that's
Tams out.
just idiotic.
Threw them into
There's no
the
way you're
popcorn.
leaving those 2 there by themselves.
Dude. I left them until the end of the film.
Yeah.
But I could not concentrate.
Yeah.
It's a 3-hour movie. All I kept thinking about was when can I get to the Tim Tams? When can I I've never been an addict, but I know what it must be like. I was jonesing for it. Like I feel like I was going cold turkey.
But imagine like the joy that you could have had in your life. And this is like, I think this has got to a interesting philosophical point, because listening to you tell this, if only you'd been able to say to yourself, honestly, at the start of the movie, I'm going to eat this entire packet of Tim Tams, and that is okay. I'm having a night off. That's what's going to happen regardless. So, you know what? That's cool. I'm going to put them out. They're just going to sit there. I'm going to have one every it's a 3-hour movie. I've got 9 Tim Tams. It's perfect. I'm just going to really enjoy it, savor it. This can be all part of the experience while I am here. And you could have just enjoyed that entire experience and not rustled around and ruined it for everybody else.
I just sort of felt like...
Give me one of those Tim Tams. Because I have listened to enough of your nonsense without getting to try one of these Tim Tams.
I just felt like that if I laid out the entire pack, that it would...
So, I would have loved that. You come into a cinema and I sit down next to a guy.
I should have offered it to...
And just, that
would have been the... Oh, really? No, if they saw me open the pack.
Oh, and just say, would you like to try one?
Yeah. Because the thing is, I felt embarrassed about, Amy, do you want a Tim Tam? Feel free to come and grab a Tim Tam if you want. Yeah. I felt like I didn't want to be the guy to bring a pack of Tim Tams in. And it wasn't so much about my own lack of discipline. It was just like, what do you think?
Keep talking.
Okay, you're still making your assessment. I didn't want to be the guy to lay out a whole pack of Tim Tams just because it was like, that felt worse. And I really trusted myself to only eat 3, but I couldn't because I found them really, really addictive. So for people listening at home, if you haven't tried a Jats Tim Tam, what they've done is replace the normal biscuit of the Tim Tam with a Jats cracker. So it's quite light and pastry-esque and very salty. And it really amplifies the filling, the icing sugar. Yeah, Will is coming around to it, I think. I can see something activating in your brain.
I'd like, and this is what you would have been getting with the popcorn, slightly more salt.
Right.
But that's
Have one more. I think
all
you
right.
might.
But consistency, texture,
Yeah.
A grade.
Because I think when they did the chocolate bar with the Jats crackers into it, I agree. There wasn't enough cracker. I think this is a right cracker. But Tim Tams are so sweet. Maybe the filling is a little bit overpowering from the saltiness. I think I should probably have one too. But then who's going to talk? I'll keep talking. I'll have mine when you talk. Because I've lost you for now. Amy, do you have an assessment? What do you think of the yeah. Me either. Yeah. Yeah.
The crunch is unreal. Like I do think I often think that most of the Tim Tam variations are not as good as the original Tim Tam. Right? This one, I reckon, if you were like you said, I've got an original Tim Tam or one of these, I would probably go with this because I like the texture a little bit more than the original Tim Tam. I just like a little bit more salt, but I understand why, as a mass product, you wouldn't have that more salty flavor. But
Yeah.
I could add my own salt. I could just have a little mold on salt, and I could just put it on top of my.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've got to
right.
I've got to say, at the end of the night when I'd eaten an entire pack of Tim Tams and a small popcorn, my mouth was so dry, like I was so dehydrated. It was very, very painful.
Well, the popcorn, they are nice, though. Really delicious. I just did an amazing thing, by the way, which was put my hand out as if I was going to have another one, and then push the packet.
It was very elegant.
5 centimeters away.
I know.
As if that was the thing that would.
I thought you were going for another, but the way you pushed them away was very disciplined. But let's see how long you last. I mean, they're very, very. God, sugar is so good, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it?
Iona
So
actually
tasty.
says to me, like, she doesn't say I want a donut or I want chocolate. She just says I want sugar.
Just get to the source.
Sugar's great.
It's almost a healthy way to think about it, though. I think about that sometimes when I don't say I want to, often before my shows, I'll have like half a can of Coca-Cola. And the reason that I have half a can of Coca-Cola is that I know that I can't have a whole can of Coca-Cola. Otherwise, I would happily, that's what I would do, because it's like the perfect amount of
Why can't you have a whole can of Coca-Cola?
Because if I'm doing a show every night and I have a whole can of Coca-Cola, that just is too much to be drinking regularly. Whereas I like it just as part of my ritual.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, I mean,
How many
there's an incredible
teaspoons of sugar?
Oh,
Like
this
24.
is one of those. Yeah, it's a lot. No, it might not be 24, but it's like 12. I mean, it's a lot. Can you Google that, please, Amy? Is that okay? In a regular can of Coca-Cola, how many teaspoons of sugar are there?
Yeah.
I'd love to. 10.
10.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about, I think, what is right. But that's a lot of teaspoons of sugar. But if you kind of think about it like that idea of going, okay, I need about 5 teaspoons of sugar worth as my little bit of energy and whatever before I start, then that's okay. I kind of, that's a measurement that I can, in my brain, go, and then you can just have half the can tomorrow as well, because it's almost like a dose of what you need.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and in that way, it's like, rather than me just going, I feel like a can of Coke, which is not it, because then I'm like, anytime I feel like a can of Coke, I'll just have one, because it's one of those drinks that, I like. And so I like that with her, where she's like, I understand what it is that I need.
Yeah.
I need right now, I need sugar, and sugar comes in all these various disguises. But what I actually need is the sugar.
Yeah.
I don't need a piece of cake, or I don't need whatever it might be. I need a dose of sugar.
Yeah, to the point where, like, you get her a cupcake and it's
Yeah.
just straight to the icing. She'll
Yeah.
lick the icing and leave the cake. I'm like, come on, dude. And we even made cupcakes a couple of weeks ago. And when it got to making the icing part, I was like, you've scammed me. Like, the only reason you've agreed to help me make these cupcakes is because you wanted to get in on this. Because when we got to making the icing,
Yeah.
she was like, that. I just
Yeah.
want that. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
So I can't give you the whole thing. I said, you can
Mate.
have the spoon.
When I was the spoon. When I was a kid, like, I lived with the spoon.
Yeah.
Like, I would have lived off the spoon. You can lick the spoon. Come and help me. You can lick the spoon. Making icing, cream cheese icing for a carrot cake.
Yeah.
Homemade cream cheese icing for a carrot cake. Oh my God. Like, if
Yeah.
mum let me make that icing, it'd constantly be like one of those things where she'd come back and go, half of it's gone. We have to put more stuff in.
I remember my sister would come home from school and just make herself a mug of icing to eat in front of the TV. Like, she'd literally
get
get
sugar.
icing,
Just
sugar,
straight to the point.
cocoa powder,
Yeah.
bit of milk, bit of butter, mix it up,
Yeah.
and then she'd just sit there with a spoon and
Ate
just eat
the
icing.
icing out of a cup. Why waste a perfectly good cake that you're never going to actually eat when
That's
you just
true.
want the icing?
Oh, man. Sorry, I'm just thinking about having another Tim Tam.
You can have one. I'll talk if you want to.
No,
if you want to
it's
have
all
another
right.
one.
I mean, I had a whole pack yesterday, but you know what? It actually scratched the itch. See, Gemma doesn't have a sweet tooth. She doesn't get it. But when I heard about these,
She doesn't get it, man.
She
Yeah,
doesn't
this
get
is
it,
what this
man.
podcast should be. You should come in.
My wife
Jimmy
doesn't
doesn't get it,
yeah.
mate.
Women-
She doesn't understand what it's like to eat an entire packet. Like the opposite too of, because of course that's the classic, what the old school version of what women like. They sit around talking about their periods and eating Tim Tams.
As
Whereas
men.
yours is like, oh, she doesn't even eat Tim Tams. She doesn't even understand what it's like. She just needs some alone time from the cooking and raising your child.
She doesn't fixate on food the way I do.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I try and be a bit disciplined with what I eat. Therefore, when I allow myself something, I fetishize food much
Do you
more.
think it's because she's Scottish and she was not raised with a love of food like we are in our country?
Well, maybe. I mean, I think no, that's not. She just likes. She likes savory stuff. Like, she really loves seafood, and like she'll get really excited over like going to like clay pots or something like that.
Sure.
But it's more of an event for her. Like, treats, little pick-me-ups during the day, snacks, not her thing. But a good meal somewhere, she'll like, and she'll get excited if we're going to a good restaurant or whatever. But when I told her that Tim Tams brought out a range of Jats biscuits, and I couldn't stop talking about it, and I said I said I'm going to drive in a Byron to go to Woolies to see if they've got, and she's like, "You're making a special trip to go get these crackers." But I knew in my head, like, it's the smoker, you catch your kids smoking, give them a carton of cigarettes. That's my attitude. The thing that I'm obsessed with, just give me a day with it. I'll smash it and then I'll be over it. I'm done. I've binged it. I don't need it anymore. And so I actually feel okay about these. If this is the last time I ever eat one of those, I'll be okay with it because I really went for it last night.
Interesting. So I know I've always been a person who like I'm one of the people that when they bring out a new thing, I like to try it. I've always been, I got burnt a few times, and I think mostly it was Twisties.
Oh, yeah.
I think Twisties burnt me like a couple of times on their novelty flavors where I was like, this was, what am I doing here?
Is this before donut era, or are you specifically
No,
talking
I'm
about
talking
donut
about
era?
raspberry and donut and those sort of things. And I do think that maybe for a second, my love of novelty, new flavors, I was like, you know what, this is a con. You know, I've been burnt a couple of times. Why have you wasted
This is
your
capitalism.
and why have
gone
you wasted
awry.
this time where you could have had like a snack that you know and rely on? So I had a bit of a return to basic principles. I went really back to this idea of, you know what? Enough. I'm done with this. I'm done with these crossovers. Like it was like the Marvelification of like, I don't need the multiverse. I don't need everyone to meet each other. I don't need them all team up with each other. I'm just going to go back to old-fashioned chocolates. And so I've been eating a lot of like really back to basic, like chocolate bars, old school, plain chocolate,
like milk bar type.
yeah, going to a chocolate shop,
Yep.
and just like if they have like an apricot chocolate or like just those really kind of classic. old school chocolate flavors, licorice bullets, things like that. But then Easter came along.
Yeah.
So I'd been going through this period where I was like, it's all like, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying like plain, simple, quality chocolates just to be enjoyed. Nothing novelty. They don't need to do anything. They're just good at being chocolates. And then Easter came along and it feels to me like, man, like if you're talking about crossovers, Easter has now become like,
That's what
I
got
think there
me
was a
too.
point where they used to keep like Easter eggs somewhat respectful
Yeah.
because of the whole religious aspect of Easter. But now it's just like,
Hey,
you
you
can
like
have-
this?
Yeah.
We're going to take this.
Yeah.
And
It's
now
an
they're
Easter
together.
egg now.
Yeah. It's funny. I think I was influenced around Easter because I stumbled upon like some TikToker, I guess, just some Aussie guy who his channel is he just goes and tries the new crossover things at Coles or Woolies or whatever it is. And the thing he was doing was hot cross buns.
Right. Oh, yeah. There was a
And
lot of those.
because they did an iced Vovo hot cross bun and a barbecue shapes hot cross bun.
Oh.
And he tried them both in his car. And like they're the shittiest videos. Like there's no production value. It's literally just a guy on his iPhone sitting in the car park at fucking Coles or Woolies and eating these like cheap ass corporate products. But it captured my imagination. And I, again, was like, I've got to try an iced Vovo hot cross bun. Like, what is that? It's got like raspberries and white chocolate
And is
in
it
there.
good?
I couldn't find them anywhere because I was
Okay.
sold out.
Mm-hmm.
The barbecue shape, the pizza shape hot cross bun was there, but I'm like, I don't know about that.
What did the guy on his?
He liked them both.
He liked
but he
them
said
both.
the Ice Vovo one was the best because
Yeah, the Ice Vovo one sounds like
jam,
it
white
could make
chocolate.
sense.
Yeah, like cranberries probably. You're drooling.
I actually I was in Melbourne for Easter and I was in an area that had a lot of bakeries around where I was. And so I did a little range of trying each of their kind of signature hot cross buns during that like Easter period. And the one that maybe, I mean, look, I don't know how I felt about it going into it, but it was incredible with butter because I like it toasted with butter. That's I know some people will eat them, but me, toasted with butter. That's how I like it. There was one that did a sticky date hot cross bun.
It's a caramel in there.
It was just the perfect, like with some, like it was
not too sweet though, right? Not too
right
sweet.
on the edge of like it possibly
that's
too
where the
sweet, but
butter
that's
comes in.
Yes, Charlie, the butter and the salt. Yeah.
And getting that combo right. I mean, this has turned into the snack podcast. So I got banana bread at the airport on the way here. And
Banana muscuri bread.
Banana muscuri bread.
That's what that's what they serve at Greek restaurants.
But they didn't. I like to apply my own butter to get that butter to
of course.
sweetness ratio.
No, don't you be pre-buttering.
They pre-buttered it.
Yeah,
and it was.
I don't like
what you.
I don't what
Too
what
much.
you think. Well, there's a Goldilocks amount for everybody, but let them do themselves.
Exactly, and
because there's probably never too much for me, right? So like
so you probably would have liked this. To me, it was they'd overpowered this sweetness with the saltiness.
Yeah.
It's like drench this in butter, and I'm a bit more conservative with my dairy.
And that's okay. You're allowed to be.
No, I didn't see anything wrong with
but
it.
I just don't understand why
apologising.
people are making these dairy decisions on behalf of us as if
It's
we're
a
all
bold.
Yeah, to go one way or the other too is so bold. If you're gonna do it, because there's nothing worse than I do this though, but like it annoys me in a place where they've already buttered, and then you have to go. You're gonna have to give me some more butter here because, like, you're like you just haven't. That's not enough.
You know
don't tease me with that amount of butter.
You know what I hate is when you go to a cafe or a restaurant where they have the little sachets and the butter's frozen. Like they keep it on ice and it's like, but now I have to put it under my armpit or something to
bang it between your two pieces of toast or whatever you're getting. Like if you get two
plastic
pieces
packet,
of toast, you just put the packet
but then the toast is going to get cold by the time.
No, it doesn't. The butter just warms quickly in between the toast sandwich.
That's a good tip.
I mean, it doesn't seem like that much of a life hack. It feels like the most obvious
Well, I've been
thing
putting
you
it
would
under my
do, and-
armpit.
Yeah, that feels weird. Like old guy with all his life possessions in his backpack with butter
Is
under his
this me?
armpits.
Is this who I am?
I mean,
Like,
it
I was going to
sounds like
say,
it's
is
who
this a
you
glimpse
are.
into the future? But, well,
Yeah.
it's the present.
Yeah,
This is
a
me now.
horrifying glimpse into the present.
I'm that guy who walks around with all his worldly possessions on his back and sticks
Yeah.
butter under his
His
arm.
arms.
I just thought that was the warmest spot. That's where they take your temperature. So, I mean, we know we have a lot of doctors listen to this show. Is that why you put butter under the? I mean, you don't.
I
put
don't
butter.
think the science is bad. I don't think the problem is the science. I feel like if the idea is that you're meant to be eating it with a part of your body, then your armpits probably are quite warm. So
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm just trying to melt it, just soften
Yeah.
it, just put it under there.
But could you not just put it between your hands
Well,
and
I'm
get
going
the
to do
same
other. No,
effect?
because I'm saving time. Put it on my armpit. I can still go to the buffet and do other stuff. While
Hang on, you're carrying butter around under your armpits at the buffet?
yeah. So what I'll do?
Shut up. You
is
do
I'll-
not.
I'll go put my toast in the
No.
toaster. I put the butter.
Put the
under my
butter on your arms.
and then I'll get my other, like my yogurt and fruit and whatever.
That can't be
and
what
then
you're
by
doing.
the toast comes out,
You
it's
can't
worked
be
every time.
Carrying your butter around
70% of
under
the time
your
it
arms.
works all the time. No, it does though. It works. Trust me. Like
But what if you run into someone?
they don't know I've got butter under my armpit.
What, so you're just the whole time going to be there like, hey, Charlie, like go to shake your hand. And you keep your...
Like,
Hey, Charlie, high five.
well, who's got who comes up to you and high fives you at a buffet?
I don't know.
I see someone I know. I'm like, oh, hey, Will, how
Yeah.
you going? Good, good.
Hug. What about a hug? What if someone tries to give you a hug? Oh, you go with your one free arm.
Yeah, especially if I've got something in my hands, like because I've normally got like plates and cups and stuff. It's much easier to conceal butter under your armpit than you realize.
I mean, I'm sure it's easy. It just seems...
Wrong.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why.
Well-
but maybe it's like maybe you're just being very practical.
It's in plastic.
Yeah.
It's not like it's against my skin or anything. I'm
No.
not offering it to anyone else.
No, you're right.
Other times I've put it in the crook of my leg as well.
Yeah.
That's another one. If
Okay.
I'm sitting down, I'll
Yeah.
hold it in the crook of my leg.
Yeah, again, this seems so weird. I mean, I guess technically there's no reason why it's a bad thing.
Just put it in
If
the
we're
crook.
being honest,
Yeah.
why not just put it down your pants? That is the warmest part. Your crotch is
Is
the
it?
warmest part of your body. Yeah.
Um,
Why would you not put it down your pants? Based on the logic that there's nothing weird about putting it under your arm or under the crook of your leg, why would you not?
'Cause it
And
might
by
get-
the way, this
might-
is someone who would have eaten 3 Tim Tams off a toilet seat. So,
I think that there is potential for me to drag out pubes with it,
oh yeah.
which would be gross. I don't want that near my breakfast.
Yep.
Um,
What about
it's
in between?
uncomfortable. I don't want like
yeah.
sharp plastic down there.
What if it's one of those little silver package, like more like the paper silver, like packages they'll sometimes come in.
Oh,
not the
yeah, no,
plastic.
That can just go in your hand. They're
Yeah.
easy to heat
Oh
up.
yeah, okay.
I'm
right.
talking about
Uh-huh.
frozen, the plastic ones. You
yeah.
really got to get through it, and the armpit is the best method. But the toast, you've changed my worldview. I don't normally eat 2 pieces of toast though. Normally it's just one slice.
Okay.
Do I have to have 2 pieces?
No,
So how do
use the plate as the other.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. This makes sense. I mean, look, all of this could be avoidable if they stop putting the butter out on ice and making the butter so cold.
I agree with that. Yeah, the butter doesn't need it. No one
needs
no
hard
one,
butter.
We're not cooking.
No.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I mean, armpit cooking. I'm doing a little bit of armpit softening with butter.
So if you go to a buffet,
Yeah.
because this is buffet behavior that we're talking about here,
BB.
what I'm noticing is that you seem to be doing a one-trip operation.
I like
You're
to-
doing
I
like
like
you
to
like
get
to do it
settled.
all at once.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'll do several trips,
Ah.
but I like to do a big first up mission
All right.
where I get
Interesting.
get some yogurt, get some fruit, get some toast.
So there's no you're not doing it like a courses. You're like I
Oh,
want to
no,
have
that's
all of
that's
it.
first course.
Yeah.
But I do like to
But
do
I
a
mean, you're
big
not
hit.
saying my first course is going to be fruit, and so I'll go and get some fruit,
No, I don't
and then
wanna-
my
I
second
don't wanna be
course is
doing
going to be
multiple
cereal
trips.
and yogurt, and then I'll go and get some cereal and yogurt or whatever.
I mean, look, it's
I
not.
like the idea of it being a progressive dinner. I think.
Yeah.
I like it to unfold over. I get up every now and again, stretch my legs,
Yeah.
go over, have another peruse, see what I feel like.
I like to sit down and really get
like a
into
big
it.
hearty meal, like a Viking back
roll my
from
sleeves
battle.
up.
Yeah.
Just like Homer Simpson
Yeah.
watching the football. Just
Yeah.
undo my belt and just work.
Yeah, like an American. You like to eat
Yeah.
like an American eats. Like,
What do you mean?
well, I mean, the amount of times when I was on tour, when I would go to like a diner or whatever on a Sunday somewhere, like particularly regionally, like not in the really big cities, but like in most regional places, you go to a diner on a Sunday, you order like scrambled eggs. In Australia, if you ordered scrambled eggs on toast, what they would bring you is some toast and some scrambled eggs. But in America, they will also bring you a stack of pancakes and a side of blah, 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 and some hash browns and whatever. That's all just
that's
part
true.
of the
It's very
big standard
American
like
dining.
breakfast, right?
Yeah.
And bottomless coffee, and that's your breakfast, and you eat it all, right? Whereas like I think in Australia, we're a little bit more, certainly in a modern way, about like you're eating this
portion
or this thing, or we're
Yeah.
concentrating on this one particular aspect of this meal.
Why do Americans, when they come here, think that we're stingy?
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That food is expensive and you don't get enough of
You
it.
don't get enough of it.
Yeah, is generally, yes.
Yet somehow we rank high on the obesity scale, aren't we? Like,
because we have a crack, mate.
We have a crack.
We
mate.
bloody have a crack.
We'll pay top.
We've
dollar
done
to
it
get-
easier. It's been more expensive.
Yeah.
And we've done it harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been more expensive, harder to do here.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't have corn syrup and everything.
That's right. But we've got diabetes like you guys.
You might be number one, but we're knocking on the door. We are punching well above our weight, ironically.
I mean, I remember when I was in LA, I did go, my favorite pie shop, House of Pies in Los Feliz.
Yep.
And it's literally a diner. You can get other food, but like they have 40 different kinds of sweet pie. And because pie's not really, we don't have the same pie culture in Australia. It's more savory, our pie culture.
Our pie culture is almost exclusively savory.
Yeah.
Savory pies.
And so it was a real treat for me to go to like an old school American diner
Pie shop.
and look at like pecan pies, key lime pies, coconut
I
cream
love
pies.
a key lime pie.
Oh man. So me and Hixie, we got
Mm-hmm.
like 7 different slices of pie and did that American thing where we had like, we had a slice of pie, we had coffee, we had ice cream.
Yeah.
And I think we even had like waffle fries as well. And we were so excited. Took a bunch of like photos for Instagram of us like with all our food. Got like 2 bites in. It's like, oh, that's so full.
So full
I
of.
don't think I can
Like
do this.
one
That is
slice.
so
like one
sweet.
slice.
Oh my God, I'm gonna vomit.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it was so
I mean, it's
hard.
it's bananas.
Oh, nanas, mascuris.
Let's see it. Banana mascuris.
Well, but it's like, is their sugar stronger or something? What's going on? Like, is it just richer, more butter?
I mean, I think that it is like some of that cane sugar. Oh, no, what's it called? Corn sugar as well. Corn syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's high fructose corn syrup, right?
Yeah.
But also, I just think, it is.
Volume.
It's sweet. It's just like, it's full on. It's sugar forward.
Did you, when you were living there, did you used to like stock up on Australian chocolate and stuff to take with you?
Yes,
Oh, you did.
I did.
Yeah.
And it's better. Well, I mean, I guess you just like what you're raised on as well, right?
I'm not enough of a connoisseur to really pick up the difference, but I know like friends who live there, they always go on about like they miss Australian chocolate or, where it's made from cane sugar.
Yeah.
And it's the same with like Coke over there as well, right?
That's
They talk about
right.
Mexican Coke is the
Yeah,
best
so
Coke.
Mexican Coke, everyone talks about being amazing over there, but Mexican Coke is basically just Coke here, right? Sometimes they sell Mexican Coke here, and you're like,
What is that?
well, that's
It's
just like
Australian.
kind of what Coke is here.
Everywhere else but America.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the only reason it's Mexican is it's easy to get across the border, obviously.
I mean, that corn thing too, like that's, that they made a movie about it with Matt Damon, right? Like the idea was corn is an incredibly cheap and variable crop.
Yep.
For not just food, but textiles as well.
right.
And so the government bought up farmers to convert to corn, which was really great for the economy, lowered the cost of living. But then what's happened now is you get all these health issues relating to kind of like,
Because you shouldn't put corn in everything.
yeah, it's not just nutritionally
Anyway,
neutral.
eat those
I believe.
cornflakes.
Yeah. Dude, I fucking love a cornflake.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get to the mailbag.
All right, let's do it.
And then we'll get out of here.
Okay.
If you listen to this show or any of our shows in the Everyone Relax feed, you know how you can support us?
How?
Go to everyonerelax.com/ go Go to patreon.com. Oh my God.
Okay,
Hey,
give us
Will,
that.
if you
Yeah.
listen to this show or any of the shows in the
Uh-huh.
Everyone Relax feed, do
Yeah.
you know the best way to support us?
Go to Patreon.
.com.
Patreon.com/Everyone
Everyone Relax.
Relax.
Yeah, and you'll find lots of great bonus content in there,
Oh, yeah.
full videos of the episodes. It is still the best way to show your support. For
It
this,
is.
for this,
And
for
we
this.
appreciate everyone who supports us at the moment.
This is from Beck. The Earbuds documentary. You feature in that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I think you got something on your eyelash, bit of fluff, eyelash, other side. Yeah, there you go.
Thanks.
It's throwing me. Maybe do you reckon it's a Jets cracker?
That's it. All right. Well, I'm back in then.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Please forgive me if you all knew this already, but I was watching the Earbuds documentary. At the 37-minute mark, there is a dude wearing a black t-shirt that says, "Everyone relax." My main question is he a time traveler? I think the simple answer is no. We've been using Everyone Relax merch for quite some time. I believe when James started his Redbubble, his Everyone Relax t-shirt, before we rebranded as Everyone Relax, that was a bit of merch that was on offer. But who is the person that was wearing it in the documentary?
Wasn't me.
Wasn't you? No. So was a TOFOP fan in the documentary?
I mean, there was probably some stuff from LA Podcast Festival.
That would make the most sense. Yes, we would have had someone come to the show wearing a Everyone Relax t-shirt. I hope that answers your question, Beck. This is from Ross. A sequel to Dudesy.
There's a great bit. Sorry, I should not have done that, but yum. There's a great bit.
Arnott,
in that
if you want to sponsor our show. I mean, I'm just saying.
In that documentary where I'm a little pessimistic about what the future of podcasting will be. And I wasn't a million miles away from what has actually happened to podcasting. I was like, well, it's one of those rare... I say a lot of shit, so I'm not particularly saying that I have any insight, but this one I fluked. I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
So you said there's going to be a spike, but then there'll be
the big corporations all come in and suck it all up and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, not exactly what happened, but like close enough to some of what happened. Enough to like build a career as a futurist, on the public with that one clip.
This is from Ross. Hey guys, repeat corresponder here. I was thinking about your episode Dudesy, talking about an AI comedian, when it reminded me of the Fallout 3 video game antagonist John Henry Eden. Fallout 3 is set in a post-nuclear war, alternate future in Washington, D.C. And throughout the game, I should put on my glasses, and they're right here.
Yeah.
Wow! You hear the in-game radio stations for the propaganda spoken by the unseen president of the United States.
Okay. Yeah.
John Henry Eden, voiced by Malcolm McDowell from A Clockwork Orange, who through his personal army seeks to control the precious resources of the wasteland. Not you, Ross, just the idea of this game.
I think there's a TV series
there is.
that is quite good, is what I heard.
Woke. It's woke.
Oh, is it?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Bloody.
Okay.
It's got like women and diversity.
Blah.
Like that could exist in the
Yuck.
wasteland.
Yuck. They won't survive a nuclear apocalypse.
That's right. Over the course, you know what will though? Learning to
the patriarchy.
learning jujitsu
and
and not getting vaccinated. Over the course of the main story, you are captured and taken to an underground bunker and instructed to meet with the president, where the revelation is made that the leader of the government is an AI housed within a supercomputer. It made me wonder how close we are to having AI politicians and whether you'd be able to keep it a secret or not, or you'd have to be upfront about it. The world of Fallout 3 doesn't have an internet like we have, so the flow of information is easy to control, so you could obfuscate something like Eden. But theoretically, it would be harder to pull off in a current day reality. Sorry for the long letter, but I thought it'd be an interesting topic to discuss.
I don't mind the thought experiment. I think that AI is not particularly advanced.
Not yet.
At the moment, but there is the thing that it can do quite well is take a whole bunch of pre-existing information and then channel it back in some other form. So if you've got a whole bunch of recipes, you're able to... The reason it can make things with recipes is there's a whole bunch of recipes out there and it can learn how to combine things and you can feed in that information. The reason that you can replicate things where there's a whole bunch of like recordings of someone's voice. You can make an accurate, AI of their voice. So the more information you have, the more data you have to feed into these models, the more that you can probably use them, the more useful they are. And I would have thought in politics, that is one area where you do have a whole bunch of information on things. If you're like, from our party's perspective, like, here's the information about this coal mine and whether it should be open or closed. Here's, how many people lose their jobs. This is how blah, blah, blah. And you feed it all into a...
It's no different to polling.
I mean, I imagine that's kind of what they're doing regardless. Like you said, in an informal way, that is kind of how they make their decisions.
Yeah.
And so the idea that they might already be using, I'm sure they are already using some forms of algorithm and AI at the moment to be able to make these. So the idea that there could be a politician whose only decisions are made through the use of AI, I mean, is it any more or less? I mean, certainly you could make the argument that there are people who aren't using AI who are politicians and have power that you'd probably
using
trust.
Natural intelligence.
Yeah, they're not using any sort of intelligence, like artificial or otherwise.
Artificial
the
ignorance.
fact that there's some artificial intelligence involved in this makes up for the absolutely no intelligence that is being used by the other person.
I saw an interesting article about AI for performers, but specifically comedians and podcasters, saying that there potentially are huge market ramifications in terms of, like, your special. If the AI gets to the point where your stand-up can be translated like live, or like if people download your special and then watch it in China, and there is a voice accurate Chinese translation of the show, and people can watch and it's like they're watching your show, but they're hearing it in their own language, then suddenly you could be the biggest comedian in China, or one of the biggest comedians in China, or one of the
have to
biggest around
change
the
some
world.
of the material.
So she from this show, but it got me thinking. It's like, that seems like a good application of AI, especially for podcasts. Like, I can't remember what podcast they're talking about specifically, but there is a podcast. It's probably going to be a big one, like a Rogan or something, where they're very seriously looking into this to put out the content in 40 different languages. But it was important that they wanted to get the tone, like literally the vocal tone of the podcaster correct. So like it has a uniformity along the line, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. It's like the Babelfish, right? The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We can all understand each other. Because I imagine that will be a fairly quick application of the technology, is that in the same way we put earbuds in now, you'll just have the microphone on your phone turned on an earbud, and you'll be in a foreign country. Someone will be talking to you, and you'll be hearing in real time what they're actually saying to you.
Yeah.
And then maybe we could get a sponsor.
In China. That's our fingers crossed. If we can just invest maybe $500,000 in some AI technology, I reckon we can get a sponsor in China.
It's bound to happen, surely. All right, that is TOFOP for this week. We're legitimate. Tell where can people find.
I mean, places definitely. Maybe Sydney Comedy Festival might still be some tickets. Definitely Perth Comedy Festival. I'm doing a bunch of shows in Perth. They were very close to selling out though, so getting quick if you do want to come along to that. After that, I've got a whole bunch of regional dates. There's like nearly 20 of them, I think. A lot of them are up on the website comedy.com.au already, but coming back to places like where am I going? I don't know. Wagga Wagga.
You're going everywhere.
I'm going everywhere. It's big. It's big. It's fun. It's a really good show. I've really enjoyed doing it. So yeah, I'd love to see that.
If you like the show, you're going to like Will's stand-up.
I mean,
hopefully. And if you like the show, you're going to like our other shows. Everyonerelax.co.
Yeah.
Find them all there.
They're all there. So Two Guys, One Cup, which is an AFL adjacent podcast like this, but we occasionally talk about AFL.
Football.
There is TOFOP with Friends, which is, basically this, but we're doing it with somebody else.
Oh, and Amy, by the time this episode comes out, is The Unexplained Explained starting? Oh, The Unexplained Explained is back. Me and Ben are back for another season of The Unexplained Explained. It's
Now, do you explain the unexplained this season?
we do not.
Oh,
we,
okay.
we speculate quite a bit, but it's a really great. We have guests this season. A lot of really
What?
great episodes. I know it's
Guests?
expanding. I know people are
Bigfoot?
excited.
Are you getting Bigfoot?
We didn't get Bigfoot.
Nessie?
No, too
No?
hard. Way out of our reach.
The guy who faked the moon landing? You got the guy who faked the moon landing?
Buzz Aldrin. He'll punch you in the face
Buzz
for
did
saying
it.
that.
Buzz faked it. Is that what you're
Have you
saying?
seen that video of Buzz Aldrin
yeah.
punching that dude in the face? He said he faked the
Wouldn't be
moon
able to
landing?
do it now, though, would he?
Why? Because he's dead.
I don't know. Is he dead?
No, I don't think so.
He's
He'll
old,
never
though.
die.
He'd be old.
Those astronauts never
If
die.
he's not. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the radiation from the moon.
94 years
I
old.
bet you'd
I
still
could
punch
bash
you in
the
the
shit out of
face.
him.
I bet you couldn't. If I had to choose between you and a
94-year-old Buzz
I
Aldrin.
reckon I've seen that video.
So-
He would have been 80 when he punched that dude.
Yeah,
And
but
he punched him
80,
good.
94.
Yeah, I still think Buzz would get you.
Nah. I mean, maybe.
I'm Charlie Clausen.
I'm Will Anderson.